Hello, 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 hello. Wherever you're watching me from, I'd love to welcome you to this special program hosted by myself, Evans Lukumona, based right here in Deutschland or in Germany, representing Twikatane EV, Twikatane FR, or Twikatane NGO, which was founded some time back in 2017 in Germany, whose purpose is to uplift the standards of the poor, the widows, the students, the needy street children, the vulnerable. The list goes on and on. With Twikatane, in cooperation with the Diverse Learning Institute, DLI, also founded in Germany and planted in various parts of Africa with links in the USA, Ukraine, Poland, Germany itself, the United Kingdom, and other countries. Twikatane is here, introduced a series of programs that we're going to be having to fundraise for the cause of Twikatane, that is the vulnerable, the poor. Like I've alluded to, Twikatane believes that every person who is well placed in society or in life, financially, materially, spiritually, has got a mandate or should have a mandate to uplift the needy around that area or beyond. Therefore, this program, the series of the topics that we're going to be discussing, are targeted to the wealthy, individuals and corporates, the donor community, the United Nations, UNICEF, and other numerous foundations across the globe. We are coming to you directly to say that what you have, share it to the needy. You have all seen how Africa dwells in poverty. A lot, multi-millions of people aren't able to even have a triple meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner because of the poverty levels out there. Let alone when we talk about education, intelligent boys and girls, youth, kids cannot even take a step to jump into a classroom. While we have got people, corporates, the donor community that are wallowing in quite a lot of wealth. Have they given a blind eye? Have they just called it, this is how life is supposed to be? Some people can serve and some people can enjoy. Twikatane, in short, TeV, from today onwards, shall be revealing all these illusions, I may call them, all these things that have come to be part of our lives, like it is just that normal. Through this series of programs we're going to be having, we are going to see a situation whereby those 4x4 vehicles in Africa, big ones, running through, seeing an old woman, 95 years old, breaking the stones along the streets to sell out just to earn the $1 is going to stop. We're going to be seeing the wealthy people stopping by and saying, Mama, Grandma, why are you doing this? Stop it. I'm going to sponsor you and your family and your grandchildren whom you haven't sent to school because I've got more than enough in my bank account. This is the Africa we're trying to get down to. And this is the Africa Twikatane is going to look at having. We've all got the heart structure, which was created by God. No person has got two hearts. No person has got half a heart. We've got a complete heart with similar functionality. No person has got 20 brains. We've only got one given and in the rightful position. And its functionality has to function or work according to God's demand. Because God says that I created man, which simply means man and woman, in my own image. Just underlining that word, own image, simply means that all the traits or the functionalities of our Lord God have to dwell in us and in our hearts, which simply means we shall abide by the word of love. When you got love in your heart, I'm telling you will be having sleepless nights, having known that you are so wealthy, and yet you are seeing those ramshackles of Africa, street children in Africa, the widows that are just on the streets selling maize cobs, bananas, and stuff, and they can't send their children or their beloved ones to school, to college, or to university. Let us realize that we are all, regardless of your color, creed, background, Chinese, Japanese, Germans, African, American, Spaniard, the Polish, Ukrainian, name any ethnic group, any country, wherever you come from. We are all created in the image of the Most High God. And that image simply says, do not neglect the needy. This is the cause of the series of the program that we're going to be having. We shall be reminding you to tap into your pocket and transfer just a little percent of it to sponsor those children, those youths, those widows that we are looking after in Africa. We just want to be that practical. We know that a lot of dear governments from the Western world, you've given too much money. You keep giving too much money to most of the governments right in Africa to help the poor, to solve certain solutions. Of course, you know it at the back of your minds that that wealth, your money, has never trickled down to the needy. That's why even when you go to certain offices, your embassies in Africa, upstairs there, you look through the window, behind you are seeing women walking distances with buckets of water on their head. 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers, 15 kilometers, 20 kilometers, fetching water on the head. That water has got to cook, bath the same water. And yet, to sink the boreholes in any African country, I may not know the statistics of the rate of exchange between the dollar or the euro, and that is so cheap. But what has happened? Because the resources that you've been sending fall into the wrong hands. The hands that do not have a real heart to cause change. To cause change. And nothing but practical change. That's why Twikatane, we are in Zambia, we are in South Africa, we are in Tanzania, we are in Nigeria, we are in Kenya, we in Uganda, Rwanda, and many other parts of African countries where we've blended Twikatane functionality with the Diverse Learning Institute, mainly to offer affordable education which we've imported from the Western world, quality education, onto the south of Africa. But still we find that many a student cannot afford even the least of the fees that we've prescribed to attend education. Therefore, we cannot just throw them out like that. We have to get back to you and we appeal to say, please gather 10 students you can sponsor. I know the kind of money that you have, the kind of wealth that you have. If we ask you to say one child is paying $200 or $300 or $400 or $500 per semester of 6 months, I know some of you would say, what is $5,000 for 6 months? That's a drop in the ocean. But probably nobody has approached you, sir or madam, for the corporate world. And we come to you to appeal to you earnestly. We cannot live to see our beautiful continent of Africa just to keep suffering like that. We know statistics, according to what we've gathered, for instance, in Nigeria. School leavers, almost every year, are around 1.6 million in numbers, but only 400,000 are absorbed into university. The rest, 1.2, take to the streets because we cannot manage to pay the kind of fees that are charged. The pattern is all over Africa. I come from Zambia, so it's the same. We are changing that pattern by coming, knocking on a dear nice office door and say, please come to the rescue. Gather students from our port and start sponsoring them too. TeV Germany and Twikatane is already doing that in Zambia. We've got a number of pupils, students came to us. My father is deaf, my father is lame, disabled to say, mama doesn't work too, and I got good points from secondary school, now can't enter university. A number of them, what do we do? We've absorbed them and we're training them now, impacting their life, changing their life. I'm appealing to you, the wealthy, the corporate world, the donor community, the rich, wealthy individuals, come on board, let us partner together and change that life. How beautiful it sounds and it looks when after a couple of years, you're able to see that person that you sponsored is doing fine and build a family out of your heart, out of your able hand. Come on forward. Join our vehicle to change the life of the needy, the poor. I call myself to serve them all my life. I shall serve them all my life. As long as God keeps giving me the breath to live on this earth, I shall never keep quiet, nor shall I rest and look around and just contain it, see people suffer like that. No. I'm in Deutschland where we've got trillionaires, billionaires. Can I say that? I mean, not yet trillionaires. Coming back to you, son, madam, say, let's go back to Africa and do projects through Twikatane and uplift. Already we are in touch with a number of investors, companies, the corporate world. So let's go back to Africa. We've got a lot of arid space, land, where we can do farming together, produce stuff together and feed the entire Africa. It's much easier, very easy. The way urbanization has to be brushed off. The setup of Africa is, if I have got to do well, I've got to go right onto the capital city, and get a job and start up something. Yet we've got massive land, but this land is neglected, mostly by people that are not so rich. But thank God that most of the countries now are waking up. Like Zambia, where I come from, copper was the bread and butter of that nation. But thank God to our dear leader, President Edgar Lungu, who's realized, I'm told and I've read, that he's spearheading agriculture in Zambia. That's quite great. I live in Deutschland, which is twice as much smaller than Zambia in terms of surface area. And the population in Deutschland is about 92, 93 million people. Yet, the country, which is twice as much as Germany, Zambia, has only got about 17 to 18 million people. So you can figure out the kind of land that we've got out there. If we cultivated it, we tapped it, there's gonna be no poverty right on the soils of Zambia. I'm comfortable to say that we've got massive land in Zambia's Twikatane, where we plan to do such kind of agro, put up institutions, train the youth. We are inviting you, the donor community, the wealthy individuals, the corporate world, to come on board. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, let's share. Yes. Okay. I want you to save the needy, the vulnerable through affordable education and social help. Twikatane, FR or ED, NGO. And that's middle, plus on the right side you see the DLI, or Central Hamburg University, Germany. Students in beautiful Africa, Zambia specific. They are learning. This is what we're doing. We do not just talk, but we set an example before you bring in your donations, your help. TeV Germany TV. This is the channel that you're going to be following from today and on and on. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure that you press that like button so that every time that we post the new updates, you are notified. We're going to be bringing here various people globally that matter on this earth. What I mean by that matter, every human life matters, yes. People that have got a heart to change the world, spiritually, materially, financially. They're going to be coming here. We just can't sit by, but let us contribute and change the life of that child who is in need of your assistance, of your help. I am free and comfortable to announce to say that Twikatane NGO has been founded on the premise of God. I'm going to stop sharing, get back. How do you feel when you see people suffer? When you watch on telly, something is happening in a distant country, nation. How do you feel? Do you just feel that comfortable? Then you're not carrying God's heart. You gotta feel attached. I want to just run through my little background in brief. If I were to say everything, I would need 2 weeks of revelations about myself. I'm from a family of 9 children, 4 brothers and 5 sisters, born in Zambia, Central Africa, to be specific, Chimwema constituency, the middle class area, which is located in a city, 3rd largest city, called Kitwe, Lusaka and Dora being the first and second. Way back, I was born there. Went to a papa who was doing so great, who was wealthy during those years in the 60s, 70s. It was hard for an African or for a Zambian, let alone to travel the world. He traveled the world. We lived good. I was born, in wealth, and it was all good. Both parents were God-fearing Christians. Dad refused to live in the, high class areas like the parklands where most of his friends were for the rich people. But he opted to live in the middle class for one reason. He told his friends, I can't join you out there because if I come there, I won't be able to see how people are suffering in Chimwemwe, and I won't be able to easily help. So we went to Chimwemwe UCZ, United Church of Zambia, and Daddy, yes, got involved, and Mama, in a lot of social uplifting of the poor. I was a little boy. I grew up in wealth. But goodness, Papa and Mama gave us a good word. We grew up with the word of God, not to look down upon our friends and neighbors and relatives who are doing good. But to cut the story short, when I was in class 8, somewhere there, as a young boy, Papa had cars, had wealth, everything. So Papa simply said, oh, you guys, you're going to be going to school on foot. It was like a joke. Sooner or later, our house was full of ornaments, furniture, imported, awesome stuff, expensive. Sooner or later, Papa would send me and my friends go to the market and sell this television. No, Papa, we need to watch football. No, we're just going to sell it. Sell everything. Lest did I know or did we know as children that he had lost all his wealth. He had great supermarkets in parklands, high-class area. He had lost all his wealth. One of the fine days, I'm coming back to home from school, and it was a little bit drizzling, raining. Found furniture was outside the house. Mama was locked up. It never belonged to that. They hadn't bought it. That time it was, not even called for to buy a house because they were almost free of charge. The rent was too little. They were council houses. The council had locked. I asked Mama, what's happening, Mama? She said, no, there have been some pending rentals. So we're going to sleep outside. Mama, I still remember she started disputing us. Either you're going to sleep at your friend Oscar or Chibeka or Changwe or Jonah, the girls here and there and stuff. That changed my life. That changed my life. I remember promised God, I said, I'm going to become wealthy. I'm going to gather the monies the earth would ask for me to impact my family. I had to start from my nuclear family. I'm saying this so that you know where I'm going to, so that you figure out the power of giving, the power of utilizing your godly heart, what it can do to yourself and your generations to come. I'm still coming. Don't stop listening, keep listening. I remember that time I slept like a friend of mine that night. I didn't even sleep. I was gazing, looking out through the roofs. Said, all these friends were coming to eat from our place. Neighbors were coming to watch TV at our place. Daddy would come with a vehicle full of toys, food stuff, and everything. And he would even say, no, don't take anything because my children, give us, you go and call your friends. John going to call friend Charity and them, and you'd let them first choose, and they'll take the very best and we'll be there, complaining to Mama, what's happening? It's not supposed to be this way. I wanted that ball. I wanted that car, toy. Mama said, no, there's power in giving. Dad is showing you something. which we've all grown up with in our family. We're doing very well. So that night, I didn't sleep. I changed. I said, I'm going to become well. Just cut the story short, I rose through to grade 12. I went to study college in Lusaka. Started. I did a lot of stuff. And my, later on, I became wealthy. 1996, 97 were great years of gathering wealth. I introduced my organization, my learning institute from pocket of money, my single without no donation. I opened also an organization called First Kids, Free Education for Street Kids. I remember seeing myself in a magazine which was introduced, supported by then King Akerere, if I can pronounce her name very well, from the United Nations. She was the regional director of, I think, Central and Southern Africa. The magazine was called People Who Build Lives from Nothingness, because I was coming from a no background. And I went through thin and thick, helping myself. Nobody to help me with the funds. But I rose and I started changing the world of Zambia. I became international. I started cooperating with Auburn College and other partner universities in the United Kingdom, brought affordable education to Zambia, and the rest remains. What happens to the family I was talking about, where I come from? Sent back my siblings to schools, to colleges, nephews. I would pick the phone to call uncles, aunties. Do you have somebody who doesn't go to school? They had to come, all of them, to Osaka. My house was a big mansion, accommodated them, get ready. Today I stand proud, shoulder high, that everybody that I supported in Zambia are doing well. They are well placed. The heart of giving. I remember one of the fine days, my students in Zambia are coming to say, sir, we are seeing these boys who come to your office. They are smelling, they are dirty. That was Luca and the friends, the street kids, whom I had told my accountant led. And Doreen may have, so rest in peace. She was my niece. She was my secretary. Please tell Mr. Peary, the accountant, all the time to be giving money for bread and butter to the street kids. It was awesome. So these children who learned, from our organization or institute said, no, we don't want to be single because they're smelling. I called a meeting. I told them, those Mercedes Benz, those Toyota Hilux, that classy house you have, it's not for you, it's for your parents. Your parents worked hard to that level. You're going to work hard, and you're going to have a heart to serve the poor. Therefore, bring all your pair of shoes, bring everything that you do not use for, and come and support these children. It worked so well. Guess what? The same Luca boy, the street boy, I remember one fine days he came to my office and said, sir, I want to have some capital money to start selling something. I said, look, you're so young. That boy, that time, I think he was about 14 years. You're so young. Again, he came to my office. I gave him some money. I don't even remember the money, the amount of money that I gave him. Later on, when I lost everything that I'd worked for in 2004, I'd missed Luca, the street boy, and the friends. Time passed. One of the fine days I was at a market called Soweto Market in Lusaka. We are 04 in the morning AM. Women and men bring from the farms fish and everything, any goods you might think of, to sell very cheap. I was there trying to buy something from the little coins I had in my pocket because I was poor now, deeply poor. You don't know what I'm talking about. And I heard a voice, sir, 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 behind me. Turned round. It was this boy who had grown. Couldn't even recognize me. Sir, you recognize me? I am Luca. Luca, the street boy, yes. So I come several times to your office. You are not there. I said, no, no. We got shot. We got shot. We got nothing now, boy. The boy cried before me and he pulled my hand and said, sir, come. I am what I am because of you. He had two shops, big shops, one for foodstuffs, the other one for clothes. Look, are you the owner? Yes, Mr. Automarket. This is my wife and this is my child. My wife, we are what we are because of this money. I didn't know nothing. You gave me some money one time for business. You said I was young. I invested. This is who I am. Sir, I know. What about your children? My kids, two children were young. They know they are home. Take any clothing for them. Take any food for them. Packed. He booked a car for me and drove me to my place where I was. That is how the power of giving can be transformed. You thought you were up there, but not knowing that when you are going up, as it is always said, remember those that are below or under you. They shall come to the rescue. Luke put us on a permanent level of going and getting food stuff to feed the family. I'm not ashamed to say this. And I repeat, the power of giving changed my nuclear family and the extended families, even those that were just passers-by, whom I didn't know. As long as they knocked, sir, sponsor us, sir, we need help. I had the money on edge. I did it. I sponsored them. Some are in diaspora, the US, England, name any nation. Mr. Commoner. But I'm not boasting. I'm boasting in the Lord because he says, blessed is the hand that does nothing but gives. I came to Germany in 2007-8 to start a new life, only with a bag. I've impacted Deutschland. I impacted Deutschland. The kind of suffering here, which is here, is not the kind of suffering that we have in Africa. We find boys and girls are disturbed mentally over little things. Boys and girls who didn't even want to come to school, to go to school. I was attached in about 6 learning institutions in Hamburg as an English teacher, but I became a social worker, uplifting lives, coaching, encouraging boys and girls, changing their lives, confessing I had never loved school, but because of Miss Lukoman, I've come to love school because of the way I poured the heart. We had an influx of the refugees in Germany between 2013 and 17. Called my team, Diverse Learning Institute team, then our NGO was not formed. I called Ria, Mustafa, and the rest. Let's do something. How are we going to manage? Got no sponsorship? No, let's give a heart. We did it. Over 1,000 refugees came to our rescue. We trained them the language. We coached them how to get jobs. We gave them jobs thereafter. We gave them the certificates, international certificates. Thank God to West Midlands Open College, when German institutes refused to give them the certificates for free because they are refugees. But we had to go to England. And the list is endless. The power of giving. Today, because of my heart and because of my resilience, persistence to help the poor, DLI, Diverse Learning Institute, soon is going to be Central Hamburg University. Twikatane NGO got planted in Germany, and we are spread all over Africa, helping the vulnerable. Those who never went to school, who can do nothing, who can't read, not anything, but they have got the skills. We are recruiting them. We've been recruiting them. What can you do? I want to do fishing. I want to do embroidery. I want to do tailoring. We are sending gold machines. Anything on earth that can change that person's life. In all corners of Africa, we need your support. The corporate, the wealthy, the donor community. Get through Twikatane and TeV directly, and you'll never be disappointed. Get through TeV directly or Twikatane NGO, and you will never be disappointed. We've got men and women in Africa, led by our dear lady, the president of Twikatane in Africa, Madam Belinda Chiduza, lives in a small city in Zambia called Impika Mochinga province. Amazing woman. You just need to help us. Plant schools in Zambia, plant schools in Kenya, Uganda, South Africa, Tanzania, Congo DR, which is just coming from war, Rwanda, Burundi. The list is endless. Trust us, trust me as the chairman of Twikatane. I've always had a clean record of handling resources and helping and uplifting the needy. This caused me to spend air tickets, flying all over the Western world, trying to convince the international universities, please, let's work together and partner together and offer affordable degrees, which even that villager, person, boy and girl from the village can afford to attend. And you have come, and you have come, some of you, to the rescue. Thank you, Atlantic International University, Hawaii, USA. Thank you, Kiev Slavonic University, Kiev, Ukraine. Thank you, the West Midlands Open College. Thank you, the General Komora University. Thank you, Statal Schule, through Mr. Wilhelm Kelberbrecht in Hamburg, for your help and assistance through the years of our existence. Together, you've really been massive in helping us. I don't want to start itemizing the names here, but there are a lot more people that have helped Twikatane, that have helped build Diverse Learning Institute, which is soon going to be in Central Harbour University. Blessed is a hand that gives. United Nations, UNESCO, Bill Gates and Melinda Gates Foundation, Mark Zuckerberg, Cambridge University Foundation, Oxford University Foundation, Harvard University Foundation. The list is endless. Come on board and work with Twikatane NGO and the Diversity Learning Institute for us to realize what we are calling the revolution of education, giving education to the less privileged. From kindergarten to master's degree and PhD, right on the soils of Africa, with connectivity to your developed countries here in Germany, England, the US, and other countries, so that we are able to tap that kind of technological knowledge you have back to our continent. We don't want to continue coming, begging for things that we can do all ourselves. We need you as a helping partner and a hand through Twikatane NGO and Diverse Learning Institute, soon Central Hamburg University, and our partner universities, and your cooperation as a donor, as a giver. Africa shall never be the same. Africa shall never be the same. Put a smile on that little boy, girl, who is intelligent, being laughed at by the wealthy in Africa. She can't go to school. He can't go to school. put a smile, take them back, give us the resources, and we are going to place them where they belong. I'd love also to thank the university service which has come to partner with us and taking us all around Germany and across Germany for new partnerships, build to change Africa for the better. To the German government, I would like to thank you for having accorded me as leader of this organization the chance to plant Twikatane NGO and the Diverse Learning Institute in Germany, Hamburg, Elmson to be specific. You've been awesome. Thank you. I'd love to thank you also the Zambian government, the Ministry of Education and other ministries that have been, yes, on our side to give us whatever we asked for. In Zambia, we are operating from over 20 state-run high schools, which is a great thing, to facilitate our decentralized system of education. Learn in the province where you belong to. You don't need to travel to the capital city. It's too expensive. Thank you, Dr. Jobis Kalumba, and your followers, and the minister at large. Thank you so much. We are still coming and asking for more. And that thing that we're going to be asking for is not for our pockets, but to change and impact the Zambian needy, the vulnerable. Thank you once more for watching this. Subscribe, click the like button so that when we upload the next series, you are going to be notified. There's a lot which is going to be happening here. As I conclude, the German businessmen, the German government, the donor community in Germany, enterprises, the corporate world, let's go and impact Africa together. We are a great partner because we are led by an able chairman, Mr. Evans Lukoma, and myself, who will entrust your donation to the real cause on the south of Africa. To my dear beloved students whom we are helping, the widows there helping with the skills, ladies and gentlemen, everybody that is glued to our cause, glued to Twikatane, glued to DLI Germany, take whatever we have brought to you seriously. For such kind of chances, they only come once in 1,000 years. You know a lot of learning institutions, a lot of NGOs that you've gone to, you've knocked on their doors, and they have sent you away, they have sent you back. And you know how you come to knock on DLI and Twikatane NGO, and we are there for you. We're helping you, we are treating you. And some of you, we even bringing you to Deutschland to come and further study here, regardless of your poor status. You are just poor for now. Like I said, nobody's poor. It's just for now. Your future is bright. Never lose hope. The future doesn't belong to that. That's when you are seeing driving in cities, Benz, 4x4s, those, happy children from the wealthy family. No, as long as you've got the mindset of success, boy and girl, that village where you are, it will be you to come and even plant electricity, water balls there when you are wealthy through Twikatane IFA or Twikatane NGO. God bless you all. Thank you, Twikatane teams in Zambia, Nigeria, Tanzania, Uganda, South Africa, DR Congo, Rwanda, Germany, Ukraine, Poland, everywhere we are glued. Let's hold our hands together. It is very easy to change the world. Only if we continue pouring a loving and nothing else but a loving heart. Remember, God says, blessed is the hand that giveth than the one that receiveth. In the next video, I want to be referring so much to the giving aspect according to God's standards. Now, I'm closing and displaying our bank account to the donor community. Please, you watch this video, you are attached. If you are a grassroots, you are a middle class, do not donate. Don't give us any single penny. We are raising for you. Therefore, this account that I'm going to display, I am targeting to the corporate world, to the wealthy. You could be in Africa. You are a wealthy person or corporate or an organization. You are the ones we are targeting. And other donor communities. Therefore, I'm going to share my screen and display our bank account. Once again. Okay, now I'm going to find, right. That's for the next topic. God's way to help the poor. That will be coming in the next phases. But I will scroll down to red. So what you're seeing on the screen here, shared screen, that's the bank account of Twikatane. Sponsor a child, sponsor a poor child, youth, student, widow now with anything. This account is based right in Deutschland or in Germany. You can pause the video and write the details. For those that are based in Zambia, you can ask on the comment box the details for the Zambian Twikatane bank account. The rest of the world, you can donate right here. You've seen the bank account, support that child. Ivan Sukuma signing off from Germany, Deutschland, Twikatane, NGO. God bless you and thank you for your help and for your donation. Keep signing in.